Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to Musky Talk Mondays. I am your host, Colin Pluta. Today on this show, I'm pretty freaking excited about this one. This is going to be another good one. I mean, they've all been pretty good, I think, but we'll see. I like this one today. Awesome guys. Awesome things we're going to talk about. And as Paul just said, let's bring on the hookers. So, everyone, let's, dun dun dun, Ryan, Zylka, Dirty Hookers. If I want to just give them a little bit of a, what you said to me, Ryan, prior about the noise.
Sure. Yeah, I just told Colin, unfortunately, if there's any noise in the background, I apologize. I dropped my phone in the lake last week, and everything works except for the microphone. So I am currently sitting in the bar using the bartender's phone to do this podcast with you guys. So any noise inconvenience, I apologize for that.
Well, if they don't like it, they don't have to listen. Just miss all the great news.
It's true.
Is going to be shown today.
Exactly.
So
they're lost.
In case you didn't know, if you guys aren't looking at what is upon your screen, it says Dirty Hookers Tackle Company, Wisconsin's finest handcrafted bucktails, Ryan Zylka, and it lists 3 separate websites: Team Rhino Outdoors, FishTomahawk.com, and St. Croix Rods. So Ryan, why did I add these things to your business card? What's the dealio?
Well, within the last few weeks, I've been working a lot on getting to some other places other than just doing custom baits, and I'm leaning more towards the retail route now. Like you said, Team Rhino has. I've done some work with him before. We switched it up this time. He's going to be carrying 5 different colors of Thor's hammers. For those of you who don't know what that one is, that's the smallest straight marabou bait that I make. It's a single fluted Indiana blade, relatively light, small body on that one.
Okay.
Excellent for spring fishing.
It's that time now.
Early summer.
So are those going to be colors that, like, if Joe Schmo comes up to you and be like, "Hey Ryan, can you do a custom order of that colors?" Are you going to be able to do that, or is that only through Team Rhino? Those colors.
Those colors are going to be only through Team Rhino.
Awesome.
Yep, those will be exclusive through him.
Do you know what they are yet?
Yes. He's got. There's some pictures up of them. He's going to be getting a ball liquor pattern, a lemon head, an all-black one. I mean, blade, beads, marabou, everything, flash, hackle, everything's black on it. He's also getting the 50-inch sunset. That's probably one of my better-known baits. That one started out as a double 15 when I first made that pattern, and I've done it in just about every size now because it was such a hit.
I think I saw you explaining that, or I read something where you explained where you came up with that. And those double 15s, I'm good on that.
Yeah, that was a funny story.
So
how that one all came about.
Jamie just asked us what size Indiana blades are on the Thors again.
The Thor is a single fluted Indiana, size 8.
Size 8. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you got the trail colors coming out. Awesome colors. You can't go wrong with that. Yep. So Fish Tomahawk. People might not know what that is. If you want to briefly explain that a little bit.
Yeah. Fish Tomahawk. I'm actually going to be at a location in Tomahawk called Aquatic Arts. They don't actually have their own website.
Now, what is
but when you click on Aquatic Arts, it's a small outdoor store.
Okay.
They deal in kayaks and fishing tackle and stuff like that. Greg Nimmer has some baits there, as with a couple other people.
Okay.
So yeah, they don't have their own website, but when you go to Fish Tomahawk, they have a big ad right across the bottom that shows you their address, a map, their phone numbers, and stuff like that. Those guys, I'm not positive if it's going to stay this way, but right now we're going to test out. They're going to do size 8s and 10s in the regular Wonder Bread, the white one, the black Wonder Bread, and they will also have an exclusive pattern from them, which is a purple Wonder Bread. And that's the one that you showed last week.
The purple one? No, I showed the black one last week.
Yes.
That's the one that you showed.
No, it's purple.
What?
No, it's purple. It's very similar to the black one. It's like a candy purple with chartreuse flake in it. And then it also has white spots on it added.
Now I know I got a picture of that. I can pull that up right quick because you sent me that picture and it's pretty hot. It is definitely.
Yeah. I'm very excited on those. I actually should have pictures of the whole bait tomorrow.
Ooh, all right. Definitely. All right,
so we'll be getting started on those really soon here.
Alright, so that's the color, you guys. Right there. That's going to be the purple Wonder Bread. Now, are you going to leave it like at purple Wonder Bread, or are you going to come up with something?
I'm not sure yet. I might talk to them about it and see if they had any ideas, or just leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah. And the last one.
So, the last one, which is, I was hooting and hollering for you when I learned about this. St. Croix. I mean, if you don't know what St. Croix is, well, I don't know what to say to that. But tell me what's going on with that.
Actually, for those of you who don't know, the St. Croix factory is in Park Falls, which is where I live. I actually live about 20 minutes out of Park Falls in the middle of nowhere, but I deliver mail in Park Falls, and that's my mailing address and stuff. But their factory and their pro shop is in Park Falls, and I got a tip from somebody that works there that said, you make some very nice bucktails. I wouldn't be surprised if they would carry them there. You should go in. He gave me some names, and so I took in a pile of samples for them, and we sat down and talked for a bit, and they were very pleased. So I'm hoping to get them a small order by their Customer Appreciation Day, which is the weekend of June 17th. So I'll be up there.
Now, with all these, are you pretty much going full-time at a time?
No.
No? Surprisingly?
No. Surprisingly not. With these 3 retail places, what I think I'm going to lean towards doing, and especially for right now, at least for a month or two, I'm done taking custom orders. I'm just going to do these, focus on these for a little bit. The people who do have orders in right now, those are getting out still. But I think I'm going to stop taking custom orders for a little while and just focus on some retail stuff. My plan is to do 1 or 2 shows in the spring, and you can definitely expect some custom colors at those.
What shows are you talking about?
But this year I'm hoping to do Chicago and either Minnesota or Waukesha. I haven't quite.
Waukesha, just because it's close to my house, I can go there.
Okay, I will keep that one in mind.
No,
I haven't quite nailed down which ones, but I've heard good things about the Waukesha one from last year, and I haven't been to Chicago yet. I'd really like to get down to that show.
I heard that's so. It's the gateway to all the show season, Steve. It's the first one.
Exactly, and that was my other thought was the Chicago is the first one, Minnesota is the last one. So that gives somebody like me and you who is sole person in the business to catch back up with myself and get ready for another show.
Now, I want to put this out for you, Ryan, and I want to put this out to like all the viewers and everything like that. Now, I was at the Milwaukee one, the Milwaukee Musky held out in the shop. Now, I was part of the small bait makers booth, and it was advertised as presented by Musky Slime. I don't know who Musky Slime is. I would love to possibly get in contact with them, and I would love to keep those small bait booths going and more. So if anyone knows out there
I agree.
Musky Slime is, let me know because I don't know who they are.
I've never heard of that before, to be honest with you. But yeah, I did hear good things about that as well, that small bait booth thing. And that's a possibility for me too. Since they moved that out to the Washington County Fairgrounds, I'm actually originally from West Bend.
Okay.
So my folks most of my family lives within 5 miles of there. So it's kind of nice for me to go down to that one. I get to see a lot of people and stuff. And I heard some good things about that.
All right, so I say
that's also a possibility.
You do the Waukesha show. Family comes first.
Yeah.
You gotta do that one.
Yeah.
So moving forward in this, no more custom ordnance, guys. Anything that's in already will get done. Show season.
Right.
So after that, until show season is just going to be feeling out. Like, hey, I don't have that many orders this week. Maybe do a couple runs of customs.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's kind of how it's going to go. We'll see how all these retail shops hold up, and if I'm consistent with them and they're placing regular orders, and I'll kind of go from there. I'll be moving over to a full-time job come this fall, so it's going to put a little damper on my tying.
How long is that going to last? Is that seasonal work?
Pardon?
Is that seasonal work or is that year-round?
No, that'll be year-round.
Well, shit.
So, yep. So once I get to that point, it might just be a few retail stores that you'll find me in, and then some customs and stuff. And I'm sure you'll see them pop up in benefit stuff and maybe a raffle here and there on a special occasion or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try and outfit. I'd like to get each shop some different colors.
Yeah, you don't have to see everywhere else. No, that's pointless.
Yeah.
So you guys pay attention to Dirty Hooker's Facebook, and he'll keep you updated with the possibility of having some time to do some customs. And I say get on it because as soon as he goes full time, who knows how much time he's going to be doing.
Yep, exactly.
Which is sad, but
it'll slow down a little bit, but yeah, I'll definitely keep doing it. I love it too much to stop.
So your plans for Northern Open, or what you doing?
I'm gonna go out on my chain of lakes. Actually,
yeah.
Unfortunately I have to work Saturday, so I'll probably get up really early, go out for a couple hours before work, and then hit the water as soon as I get home.
So Jamie said everything about getting to the Thorn Brothers. Talk to those guys.
I've talked to them a few times. It's been a little while since I've contacted them. They never really got back to me. I actually know a few guys that work there. I sponsor the Minnesota Duluth fishing muskie and walleye team, and then the league as a whole. And there's a couple of guys that work there from the team, and they've talked to the guys before about them too, and it's never really gone anywhere. I may try again. I wouldn't mind getting out to Minnesota or something like that too, just spreading out a little bit more. But I guess we'll see what I have for time.
Talk to Blue Ribbon.
Yep, Blue Ribbon as well.
Yep. So, with all this being said, how did you? Because there's a lot of bucktail builders out there, including myself.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay. So taking that step, that's a huge step from taking custom orders into going into retail. What did you plan on this? If so, did you prepare? And if so, how did you prepare? Or was it all just kind of at random and it just happened and you just think on the fly?
A little of both. For the longest time, I really didn't want to do retail. I enjoyed the custom side of it. Mm-hmm. I liked working with people, getting ideas from them, bouncing ideas back and forth, and making something new all the time. As I started to tie more and more, and they got more popular and more in demand, it started to get to the point where I've got 6, 7, 8 orders, and I'm talking to 6, 7, 8 different people, and it just takes up so much of my time. And after doing this for a few years now, I realized that when it comes to tax season, me doing just a couple of retail stores will really ease my anxiety from having to organize all that stuff, from doing custom orders for everybody. Keeping that stuff in line is a nightmare at times. I really don't have any desire to expand, like as far as bringing more people in to tie for me and
no, I don't.
And stuff like that.
No,
I'd like to keep it myself, but I'm going to test out a different avenue here for a little while and see if this suits me a little bit better.
So we were talking, and actually they approached you. One of those guys actually approached you to have your stuff in their store, correct?
Yeah. Somebody that works at St. Croix. I have baits all over the Pike Lake chain too, at most of the bars and restaurants around here.
Okay.
And we had a meeting here for Trap League or something, and the owner, John, got out his bucktail, and he was showing the guy, and he said, "Yeah, Ryan over there makes these." Came over, and he started talking to me about it, and said, "Yeah, I work up at St. Croix." He said, "You might want to stop in and talk to these guys."
Okay.
So.
Now, from going with that is, let's see this. Did you feel like you had the upper hand, and did you first get in contact with Team Rhino or Aquatic Arts first before St. Croix?
Team Rhino, yeah. I've done stuff with Jeff in the past before, and I approached him a month or two ago and kind of just put an offer on the table and said, would you be interested in carrying some of these? And he said, shoot me a price and what colors you got in mind, and did that. And he said, yeah, let's go for it. So he jumped on board, and the Aquatic Arts one has kind of been in the works for a while now. He expects some interest this winter, and he said, we'll talk about it a little bit more when season is getting a little bit closer and they start switching their stuff over. And so he saw some of the Wonder Bread stuff, and I've made a few purple baits for him before too. I don't know. I've never fished the Tomahawk area before. Maybe purple is the hot color around there for them.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just his favorite, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for that bait.
Yeah, I don't have too many purple
They're a bunch of... No, not at all. But it should have some good contrast to it, and yeah, I'm excited for that. They're great people over there.
Now, with going into the St. Croix, that's going to be the pro shop, correct?
Yep, that'll be their pro shop.
Okay. No, I didn't. Okay. Is that where they sell the like broken tip St. Croix for like dirt cheap or whatever?
Yep. Actually, if you walk into the pro shop, they have a huge window on the back wall, and you can watch the rods being made in there.
Oh, really?
Like, the window looks right into their shop, and you can see everybody working and stuff in there. It's pretty cool.
Now, do you truck it with the St. Croix, or what rods do you use actually?
Yeah, I have St. Croix right now.
Okay. So I think I'm in the market.
Actually, I have an array of rods, but the majority of them are St. Croix.
Did you get them for cheap since you? Did you go to the pro shop and get it for cheap?
One of them came from the B-class bin.
Yeah.
The other ones I paid full price for.
Okay. Now, so unfortunately, I've been having a problem with that I know of two spinnerbaits of mine. The blades won't turn double eights. I don't want to go into a frenzy right now and start stressing out about it, but I know. Sorry, I hit the dryer. I both know that we get the blades from the same person. Okay. Have you ever experienced this with those blades whatsoever, or is it something that I'm doing wrong to my baits?
What size blades are you using?
8, double eights.
Thick or thin ones?
Thin.
Thin? Okay.
Now on the other.
You're having a problem, like, when they start up, or like you're having to give them a little jerk when they start?
You gotta give them more than a jerk. I know of, like I said, at least 2 of them, they will not turn. Oh, 1 second. It's hard to hear us.
Sure.
Matt, he's at a bar. He dropped his phone in the lake. And he's gonna use the bar's phone. Now, on other baits that I use, it's thin double baits. It just has a different cup. And they turn perfectly.
Okay. It's just kind of like are they a little bit flatter, these blades that you have?
Yeah.
Okay. I ran across that at one other time. I don't remember where I got them from, but the problem I was having with them is they would, like, stick together.
Okay.
They'd get wet, and the blades would stick together, and then they wouldn't separate, and they'd do nothing. But I know you don't tighten. You got quite a bit of slack in your.
Yeah, I keep
in the wire on your
half an inch of slack on top of the wire.
Okay, so it shouldn't have a problem with binding at all.
No, because I know the scissors are actually kind of tight fitting, and they just been.
Yeah, I keep them. There's not much tolerance in there, but yeah, they. The only other thing that I could recommend trying is your clevises.
Yep.
Before you put them on, give them a little squeeze.
Just a tiny bit.
If you look at the clevis, they're actually spread outwards a little bit.
So it could be grinding.
All of them are from the factory. I don't think it makes a huge difference because I hadn't always done that before.
Okay.
But I did notice a difference when I did do that the startups were a lot more frequent.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I can say is weight placement.
See, now the
weight placement.
All the baits are all the same. The size of beads and amount of beads are all the same. The clevises are the same. The only thing that's different is the blade. Now, this isn't probably the best thing to do for business. Be like, hey, you guys, I sell a bait and they don't fucking spin. But I'm going to be real with it. It's already out there.
Yeah.
And I got someone on the line.
Yeah, you're being honest about it. And
something's fucked up with my blades.
Yeah, no, you're being honest with it, and that's admirable right there.
Well, it's shitty that I'm going to have to go through a whole bunch more bullshit to fix this problem, but it's got to get done. And I know at least one customer isn't happy, and that's one too many. And I got you
Yep.
here.
No, I hear you.
I'm just trying to figure anything out to get this done. Now, I don't know if it's a couple or if it's all of them. I'm pretty sure it's just a couple.
Yeah.
So, Jesse Carpenter said I got blades that don't spin from some of the best. Jesse, have you fixed that problem? Did you bend your clevises? Did you do something? But yeah, like you were saying,
I know
the weight distribution.
what a lot of people will. Right, that made a big difference for me when I started messing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of blade slaps when they hit the water, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. When they hit the water and the blades just slap the water and they make a loud crack.
Yeah.
I can get those probably 80% of the time casting, and that's due to where the weight is in the baits, and then that's kind of how they land in the water. But I know a lot of guys will recommend to give the eyelet a little bit of a bend on the top. I guess it works for a lot of people. Being a bucktail builder, I did that for a little while, and it really upset me because they spin off center then.
Yeah.
You watch it come through the water, and it starts every time.
It does.
But it has a really big wobble to it.
Now, see, I have other people that I know do that on purpose, so they get that different sound.
More of a vibration out of it, sure.
More of a thump. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I got, so Jesse said the first thing I tweaked is the clevises. I noticed with blades that have a bead on top of the clevis don't always open up. I've cut them and broke them off. Now, you have beads on top.
Do you? I do. Most of the beads on top of mine are plastic or smaller beads.
Okay.
There's a lot of guys that say they don't use them because it creates friction on it. I know a lot of guys that put a smaller bead right underneath the clevises as well to reduce friction.
Okay.
I looked into that as well. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't seem to make that big of a difference to me. And by having a plastic bead on top, that reduces almost all the weight and friction. So,
I mean, I don't know. It just seems like I'm going to have to bring, like, all my hardware and a couple of these baits and just go to the lake with split ring pliers and different weights. I need to fix this problem. Well, thanks for letting me know, some more ideas.
Yeah. No, and once you get into it, man, it's kind of fun. You know, you start playing with different things and testing different things, and you start learning, you know, little tiny things that you can change.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
It is a little frustrating, but in the end, I like it.
I hear you. Been there before.
Yeah. So what besides these 3 new, you know, retail dealerships, and then your full-time job, long-term plans, Dirty Hooker, is this going to be something that it's going to be around forever, just limited supply? What's going on?
I'm hoping so. I mean, unless for some reason I get burnt out on it, at very least I'd like to continue to do shows.
Okay.
If my full-time job gets to be too much and I just can't keep up with the orders, you know, maybe I'll just have them in St. Croix and some local places around here and then do a show once a year.
Okay.
I enjoy it too much. It really isn't a money thing for me. I'm happy with my job and everything. I do it because I enjoy building them. I enjoy getting pictures from people. I enjoy, you know, the messages that I get from people, and you know, it's fun to share that with everybody and the people I get to meet and stuff. So I'd like to keep that going.
Fair enough. So everyone,
But I guess time will tell.
we got time. We still got, Ryan tying for some time. So don't worry. You'll get your dirty hookers.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Good. So speaking of that, every time before I let someone go, I gotta ask, what is your funniest boat launch experience or story?
Oh, geez. So, boat launch. So last year, this is a great one. I got to give you a little intro to the story. There's a fella that has a cabin at the resort that I live up above a bar restaurant, and he has a cabin here, and his nickname is Batman. He wears a Batman hat, Batman shirt, like all the time. A middle-aged guy, great dude, just loves Batman.
Fair enough.
So last year, I was up with my family and a couple of my dad's friends and stuff, and I took his buddy Jeff over to the boat launch to get his boat in the water. Dropped him off, put the boat in, dropped him off, and I took the truck back over to where they were staying. And we're standing around on the top. All the docks are down at the bottom of the hill, and we're all standing at the cabin, bullshitting, drinking beer, and pretty soon 45 minutes or so goes by, and it should have taken him a few minutes to get across the lake. And somebody says, "Where the hell's Jeff?" Well, I don't know. It's been a while since I dropped him off. And sure as shit, you see a boat coming across the lake, and he pulls in, and he gets out of the boat, and we're looking like he's soaking wet, like head to toe, just dripping wet. And he yells up, "Where the fuck were you guys?" Like, we're all laughing at this point. We had no idea what's going on. "Where the hell were you?" He said, "I fell in the lake. Batman saved me." And everybody, I knew who Batman was. I kind of knew what he was talking about, but everybody else had no idea what the hell he's talking about. Here, Jeff's cruising across the lake, like wide open throttle, and something was, who knows what actually happened. He says the gas line was pinched under the tank or something, so he reached down to get it, and when he reached down, he let go of the tiller. The boat turned sideways, threw him out the back, and Batman just so happened to see all of this happen.
Oh my God.
And went over there and pulled him out of the water, got him back into his boat. He's like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Oh, they call me Batman."
Yeah, they just call me Batman.
This is Batman. Yeah, that was one of the best stories.
That's funny.
Launching a boat. I don't know how he ended up doing that.
Too bad you guys didn't see that.
God, I wish I would have.
Oh.
Hearing it from Jeff and hearing it from Batman are two different stories, but God, both of them are just hilarious.
All right, so next time I have you on, you got to get Batman, and I want to hear Batman's side of the story.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, Ryan, thanks for talking, and congratulations
on
thank you. Huge success, dude. And
awesome. Thank you much, Colin.
Not a problem, man. We'll be in touch. Have a good one.
All right. Yep, talk to you later, bud.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Batman saves the day. Batman. That's a good one. That is a good one. So, like Ryan was saying, check those stores out. If you haven't ordered already, you'll get it. No more customs for a while. So, that's cool. That's cool. So, next up is Adam from Madtown Lures. Now, some of you might be saying, "Oh, what the hell? You've had these people on before." Well, it was my first show when I had them on, and they only had a little bit of time to talk. So I'm having them back on because they're awesome people. Uh-oh. Will he answer? Probably not.
Hello?
Oh, he did answer. Adam, you're live. Be careful. Just let me know.
That's always, those are dangerous words.
It happens. It happens. So we just got off the phone with Ryan over at Dirty Hookers. He's going to be in some new stores. And now it's your turn. Let's
Excellent.
let's start off with a bang. Are you painting the shums?
That's yes. I appreciate the point blankedness. Yeah, it's hard to deny that. I do know a guy that might be doing them, and that is because that guy might be me. Yeah, I've been kind of doing that. The first round of a lot of those the glitter filth ones and those kind of fancier ones. I've been kind of doing a couple of them for Rick here, and basically it's been a smooth transition between him and Dave, and I really got to give Rick some pretty insane credit just for the way that his attention to detail in the this transition and this crossover has been insane.
Smooth.
In a great way. And I know that, guys that know Rick, they know how he does business, and they know what kind of guy he is, and knowing and hearing that he was the one that ended up buying Shum is obviously, kind of a good comforting feeling to know that Dave's legacy will kind of keep moving on in a good foot there. But seriously, I mean, if I, my thing is if the first batch of baits that I sent to Rick, there were some little tiny things here and there where he sent me some pictures back, and he's like, hey, this needs to be fixed, and I want this different and this, and
really,
that's the kind of stuff that I love. Like he knows, he has a vision of what he wants. And needs things to keep it on the exact same course of, things that consumers necessarily wouldn't even ever notice,
no.
But it needs to be the same. It needs to be even, better than kind of what is expected. And so it would be an insult to Dave to buy, a company and then put out a product that's less than what the baits that he had been putting out for so long have been, because his, Shums are just obviously such a well-respected all around, no matter who you talk to, just a great bait, great everything about them. And if, the first batch of them, yeah. And if the first batch of them that goes out is, not up to par, it's not going to be a good thing. And so, with working with Rick, it actually kind of meant a lot, just how much of a straight shooter he is, and how he said, I'd like you, if you could do this, and really kind of helped iron out some of the kinks, and really is going to help take everything to kind of this new dimension that they both have in mind. And it's going to be pretty exciting. Some of the paint jobs that are going to be coming out on some of the ones that'll be released very soon are going to be, I guess for lack of better terms, slightly terrifying.
In a good or bad way?
In a very good way.
Okay, good.
But there's, I don't even know if, I haven't told Rick this yet, but there's a pattern that he asked me to do for him that I have really gone kind of all out on, that people will definitely want to keep an eye out for. It may or may not have something to do with a walleye, but it's probably one of my personal favorite patterns that I think I've ever done, actually.
Now, I was just cruising Chaos's page, and
yeah,
I take it those are the shums that you're talking about, because I can show those right on screen. Be like, hey, this is what. Is that cool?
Hang on. I'm kind of like breaking up with you here. Say that one more time.
I just quickly made a slideshow of those ones that Chaos has.
Yes.
All right, guys. So here's the slideshow. These are some pictures from Chaos and some pictures from Adam. So these are some of the new paint jobs for the shums that will be coming out. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at the Perch one. We're looking at the purple and silver. What is next? In all different sizes.
Yeah, so there's the exciting thing that, so with, if there's one thing that I've learned from the, I mean, and we'll get into this in a sec here too, but with the Madtown stuff, I mean, Dave is, contrary to what a lot of people like to try to force him to be, Dave is actually one person. And he's not more than, he only has, from what I saw, he only has 2 arms. And so he was only able to make a...
This is my favorite one, that rainbow trout. I'm sorry, but it's just awesome.
Yes.
I had to interrupt, I had to, because it's just beautiful. All right, carry on.
Anytime you interrupt for stuff like that, you can interrupt anything that I'm saying.
Okay, perfect.
But no, well, and Dave, I mean, the wait list that he had for baits is just off the charts, and people just wanted his stuff so bad that working with Rick is capable of kind of helping get some crazy volume out there and getting a great product into the hands of more people.
Yep.
And that rainbow trout pattern was actually one that, that's not a pattern that I've got my own rainbow trout pattern kind of in the works that I'm doing, but that particular one, that one is based off of a pattern that's Dave's glitter filth pattern that I looked at that I didn't want to, Rick kind of wanted me to do that pattern and replicate it, but the thing is, like, the way that I do baits, it's hard for me to kind of do something the exact same because it's just painful.
Yeah.
Because I like to kind of add my own twist to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted Dave's pattern to kind of be his own and kind of put my own twist and specialty to it. So that's my interpretation of an already awesome pattern that Dave came up with. And so that's his glitter filth rainbow kind of with my own touch on it, essentially.
I like it.
And I kind of added some detail to it, and I love the way that he kind of added some, the way that he had kind of some of the color shift to it. And that pattern is one where Rick knocked the pictures out of the park trying to really capture the color shifting to it, because that bait, when you hold it in the light, because you know how with an actual rainbow trout, when you hold it and you kind of, if you're looking at it in the sunlight, it actually shifts from like that just, kind of flat silver to pink to purple to green to all that. And that's what this bait does. And that was my goal, is to make it have that natural color shifting. And it's almost impossible to capture on camera.
It's so
and Rick
hard.
really was able to kind of,
it's so hard.
One of the most difficult things to do with baits like that. But
I just noticed, Adam, as soon as I started showing pictures of shums, I got like way more likes and views, so I'm just going to keep it on that. So thanks for helping out, Adam.
Hey, by all means.
But to get, even with just feathers and shit, there's no color changing or anything, and it's so hard to capture what it actually looks like. I can't even imagine trying to get glitter, maybe even foil. Like I got that purple one you gave me. It's it's incredible, but you can't capture it in picture, unfortunately.
That's the crazy thing is, like a lot of the pictures that I post and stuff are, half the time that I spend after the baits are in that stage of once they're cured and getting ready to be packaged and sent out or whatever the next step is with them, half that time is trying to figure out how to position them perfectly for those pictures, to try to capture exactly what it is they do in natural light. And really the only way to see it is to see them in person. Because, all the paints that I use to do that are actually paints that I kind of concoct and make myself. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of half the fun of it too, is just coming up with your own colors and using different pigments and different things like that and different mediums to just make different color shifting effects and really, really cool kind of combinations and contrasts to really bring the baits to a whole nother dimension of just naturalism, which is kind of what I'm going for.
I was just staring at that purple one you gave me, and it's the layering of epoxy with painting
mm-hmm.
in it, and then I'm not an artsy guy. I don't know like shadowing and layering. I don't know anything about that. So I was just sitting here. I'm like, you can actually see the paint in like 3D where it's like foil. Okay, then he did some epoxy, and then he put it like the gill plates and the fins on, and then it looks like he might have even done the cheekbones on a second layer of epoxy. And it's like, what the hell, dude? Amazing.
Well, and that first of all, that just means the world to me that you notice that much and that part about it, because it's a good buddy of mine, Lee Tauken, made a comment about this that I think sums it up better than anything. Where people that it's when it comes to bait prices, when it comes to baits, it's like, in my opinion, there are zero complaints that need to be coming out of anyone's mouth. Because you can buy a $20 bait and be fine and not complain about it, and I won't care. It's fine. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Anyone that buys my baits, I appreciate that more than anything in the world. Anyone that, if anyone wants to buy Joe Peterson's baits and that price point, I respect that more than anything else as well, because Joe's work is just on another planet as well.
Yes.
But the thing is, when it comes to what Lee said to me one day, is it just kind of struck a chord with me, where he said, with people saying, oh, bait prices are too high these days, and Lee said, no, bait prices are kind of now what they need to be for the work that goes into them.
It's not easy.
And the thing is, if people saw, I think I might do a video someday, just kind of on the behind the scenes, what goes into making a bait. Because if people saw what goes into each and every bait of a true quality bait, because you'll get a bait where people will complain that the quality's bad. You'll buy a $20 bait and it breaks,
yeah. Or
you'll buy a bait that's $40 to $100 that lasts forever, but they don't like the price of it. But I am in the camp of, I just love supporting people that just love the sport and are just passionate about it. And if people are positive and love doing it, I will support that and throw my money at that any day of the week, all day long. And I just love the happiness and the passion and just the chase of everything that this is. And any negativity is just
shut up.
Not necessary.
It's not.
Yeah. It's all, especially when it comes to the bait building, like the reason that I do this is just because it's the most fun thing in the world. And I hope that people understand how much it kills me that I can't get back to every single message that I get, because, like, I think you and I were talking about this recently, where, I get 20 new messages a day almost from people, where it's like, if I respond to messages back and forth all day, I won't have time to actually get baits done all day. And between my own stuff and other stuff, it's like it's been crazy. And so it is leading to some changes here that will happen to kind of streamline stuff and allow me to get back to people more. But it's just the passion that drives all this stuff, and bait makers that are truly passionate about it, and the people that support that are people that just support anything. If you support, $20 baits and that's what you support, but you don't complain about anything else, I support that. Yeah. You don't have to buy high-priced stuff to make me happy. If you want to buy cheap stuff and you love doing it and you love catching fish, I love that.
Hey, go for it, man. I mean...
Oh, gosh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like I don't know. I'm not chucking some baits in the river, though. No.
That's I will definitely vouch for that. That's true.
Adam Swiklinski. I need another dragon. I lost mine in the river. Speaking of that. So now we got the chums out of the way. What's Madtown up to? Adam just replied back. He said, seriously, he needs a fire tiger pattern with hot pink. Have you ever messed around with that at all?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Ooh, that actually... actually, that's a perfect segue into your question, too. With a lot of the Madtown stuff here, I've got a couple more orders that I'm trying to finish up here. And then what I'm going to do, that it almost sounds, off the cuff, it sounds like I'm cutting back on orders, but what it's really going to allow me to do is get more baits out and get more, into the hands of more people. Is I'm going to unfortunately have to stop taking individual orders, I guess, this is my official announcement for saying that people that I've already talked to, you guys, and you know who you are, people that I've been talking to, you guys, your orders are all obviously good, but I have to unfortunately stop taking individual orders, but what that means is that it's going to give me more time to post very big batches of baits and get them out to retailers like, Jeff at Team Rhino.
Yep.
Jeff works harder than most people on the planet, and so I will go out of my way at any time to really make sure that people can get baits through him. Mm-hmm. And so I think, one of my first retailers that I really want to get a batch to is Jeff. And so Team Rhino is going to probably have some of the new and improved and really, really, really crazy new patterns of baits will be going to Team Rhino.
Okay.
But other than that,
every time on that, or not yet?
I think actually probably what I'll do is as soon as I have one, I can even share an announcement thing on your page. But probably I've got a couple more big batches of orders here to get done. Okay. And I don't want to make an official commitment, but I'm hoping.
Can you give me a seasonal commitment, like fall or winter?
Oh, I'm actually hoping. I'm hoping, summerish.
Okay.
To get some stuff out there, because I've already actually started a little secret Team Rhino batch.
Nice.
That I'm slowly building in the background with some other stuff going on here.
Okay.
But then there's probably the biggest thing on the docket is there's two new baits that are officially coming out this year. One of them's been in the works for quite a while. That now, I kind of prototyped a bunch.
Now, we discussed these on the first episode of Musky Talk.
Precisely.
Now,
yes.
Has those Black Ops baits security access been lowered at all for the public?
So one of them I'm going to definitely lower quite a bit.
Okay.
The other one, I'm still waiting on some final details, and then I'll hopefully be making a post before too long here with some more info on it.
Perfect.
I'll
take that. What do you got, Adam?
Well, so the slightly Black Ops one still is, there's a dive and rise bait that has been in works for quite a while, just because it's got quite a bit of intricacy in the design of having multiple weight placements for not just for different buoyancies and things like that, but actually for being able to have different without any sort of screw-in weights being able to essentially just kind of use it like a Suic, but it's more of like a Suic Sandcat type hybrid where it's going to have a little bit more wobble, kind of on the rip with it. But it's going to have multiple screw-in locations where, and I'll have diagrams to go with it, where depending on placement, you'll actually be able to use it kind of like I know Phantom had their kind of glide and their kind of dive and rise glide hybrid type bait.
Yeah.
And so, but this is going to be, it looks completely different, but it'll be in that same family. But this one will be more, where you'll be able to get it to sit kind of neutrally buoyant and kind of slap it and get it to work almost like a glide bait, where it'll dive and rise, but also, depending on screw-in weight placement, get the nose to, you'll either get the tail to kind of back up, kind of like a bobby or a Suic, or get the nose to rise toward the surface first. So it's going to be pretty killer little bait, a pretty insane amount of development and loss of sleep going into it, to the point where actually, this is, I think, the first time I've actually mentioned this, but the name of the bait is actually going to be called the Insomniac.
Insomniac. I love it.
Dude. Yep.
I love it.
And so that'll be the dive and rise one coming out is the Insomniac. Okay. And then that one is going to be a little further off, but then hopefully before that, there's going to be actually a bigger version of the Madman coming out.
Okay.
That essentially, so with the Madman, a lot of people have issues kind of working real small glides. Because a lot of people, they'll overwork them and kind of hit them a little bit too hard.
I do. I
kind of blow them out a little bit. And
we had Greg talking to Aaron, and you need a solid leader. I can't.
Solid leaders make a real big difference. Yep. And the other thing with that too is, instead of using like a spring 6-inch leader, an 8 to 10, even a 12-inch leader can help. Because the shorter the leader, the more it cuts off that pendulum effect where the bait swings with the leader.
Okay.
And so by using a solid leader and a little bit longer, it's going to help that bait swing against the leader. And then when they get to that cutoff point, the bait will still keep swinging where the leader is long enough to keep swinging the other direction without cutting off the bait's glide.
Okay.
And most of the glide is coming from that reel handle and just real sharp twitches.
Yeah, you don't work this that hard. You don't give it a big jerk. It's just that rod tip, just little slight. Precisely. And it's most, any glide bait that's going to be, I think, 6-inch Phantoms are about the biggest bait that you can still work, kind of hard. Once you get into that 5-inch and below category, if you work baits the same way, they're just all going to blow out and roll and not work the same way. And so they're all just real subtle and kind of quick reel snaps. And it's crazy what you can get them to do. And with the Madman, one of the other things you can even do is, it's weird to even say this or suggest this with a glide bait, but you can even pull it and rip it real hard like a bulldog, and it just head shakes, and it'll just slap its head back and forth, and then it'll just sit and kind of hover in the water after you pull it. And that was actually, I hate to kind of give away some of the secrets, but not that we got a huge fish in Kentucky in the PMTT, but that was how we got a lot of the attention from the fish down in Kentucky in the PMTT. Was kind of ripping madmen through trees and stuff like that, and getting fish that were inactive to kind of come out and take a pop at it. And, so you can do more than just have your madman just glide. Play around.
100%.
Do some weird stuff.
It is. I could not suggest that enough. It's crazy. And madmen aren't even the only bait that I suggest this with, but like taking any glide bait out and, taking 10, 20-foot casts with it and just doing weird stuff with it. Whether it's, short, quick jerks or long pulls or whatever, just to see how it reacts, just so you know what's going to make it blow out, what's going to make it do what. And what point of how hard, because a lot of times if you get a fish following and you hit a bait hard enough and you can get it to just roll on the point of blowing out, that's going to be, that little belly roll is what's going to be what triggers a fish to eat it. And that's, with the Madman, that's kind of what I wanted, is just real, doesn't take much to get it to work, where your rod, you don't have those big kind of slack periods in your rod tip where a fish is going to grab it when you're not in prime hook setting position.
Yeah.
And so you can have that rod tip kind of always ready to set the hook, and if you need to rip it, you can rip it, but then you can kind of learn where that point is, where the bait's going to blow out, and if you see a fish coming up after it, and you hit it just barely underneath that point, you get a nice big belly roll. A lot of the time, that's when a fish is going to come up and smack it.
So we had Matt. Shout out to Matt. He's a YouTuber, SB Fishing. He actually that was the guy that caught Musky off a Musky magnet. But he's asking.
Oh, awesome.
So should he be using straight leaders with all glide baits? Like, is that preferred?
Well, so in my opinion, for people that aren't familiar with glide baits, a solid wire leader is going to be ideal. People that are really, really dialed in and know the kind of the idiosyncrasies of what gets glides to do what can get away with fluoro and things like that. But the ideal kind of glide bait connection and setup to me is going to be just a solid wire leader with a solid ring at the end of it.
Now, a split ring, or like
exactly, a split ring directly to the bait, and not do a snap. And that multitude of reasons with that. One of them is just kind of minimizing failures. In my opinion, the new snaps that are out there, like the quick change snaps, are about the dumbest concept on the face of the earth. I mean, I don't know why saving 13 seconds is worth risking losing a giant fish at the boat when you could spend 7 extra seconds to use a split ring pliers and have a good solid connection. But more importantly, with the action of the bait, when you have that solid ring on a split ring, you get that circle on circle connection of just smooth glide and just that nice swing.
Okay.
And no matter what the glide, that's going to be optimal. It doesn't matter what, because certain glides have different screw eye orientations on the front toe eye there, and regardless of what that is, that solid ring to split ring, where you have the pivot point being just a ring on a ring, is going to allow that to be a much smoother glide and not give it kind of weird little jolts in different directions, and you just have a circle on a circle just going nice and smooth and nice and easy. And then that solid wire gives it a nice smooth pendulum effect. And it's gonna make it the easiest as possible to work. There's certain glides, when you start talking about squircos and stuff, that you kind of want to be real erratic and kind of up and down and all over the place. And those you can get away with fluoro leaders and stuff like that. And squircos are awesome baits as well. But when you have a glide that, you want to be more back and forth, it's really tough to beat a solid leader.
So, for like the newer people, go out there. If you have a fluoro leader on, go out there, work a glide bait. If you can't get it to work, try a solid leader.
Absolutely.
Instead
Absolutely.
Of just, like, narrowing it down by like brand names and everything like that. Like, if it's not working on that, just try this. And then if it's not working on that, I don't know, ask someone.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, the biggest thing with glides is, well, first of all, the main leaders that I use are, so Stealth Tackle, I think, makes some of the best leaders out there.
Okay.
And then I'm still trying to find the exact leader that they've got, but essentially the ones that I like for getting madmen to just kind of sit real high in the water column and just be real neutrally buoyant are, because I know the ones that I have from Stealth with the ball bearing swivel on the end, you can still work a madman great on those, but a lot of times you want one with just just that loop on the end, and no swivel for no added weight.
Yeah.
And so Monster Lures makes a great one of those as well. And Bill Beekner from Monster Lures is about one of the best guys in the business as well. And so he makes a great leader as well with just the solid ring to just a little loop at the end with no swivel. But once it, if you're looking past the leader, I actually, a lot of guys that have trouble with glides are still kind of in the old school shorter rods camp. And I promise this isn't as bro-y overcompensating as it sounds like, but I'm in the more longer rods camp of, I personally, 8.6 to even up to 9.3, depending on what type of bait I'm using. Mm-hmm. It's astonishing what a 9.3 rod can do for glide baits at boat side.
I can only imagine. Like
when you can
outside turn on an 8 in a glide bait, a 9.3 rod has got to be amazing.
It's you need, next time you're in Madison, you get out in the boat with me when the fish are actually moving, and
that's all right.
When you see what you can get a fish on the 8 will do on a glide bait on a 9.3 rod, it'll change your mind forever.
I think you need to post for me, more importantly for me, is post where I can buy those leaders that you use for your Madmen on Madtown website. Just because I need some. I want some.
I will absolutely do that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'll actually start throwing up some great links for leaders here. That's a brilliant idea because and when it comes to glides, especially Madmen, I think that's one of the biggest, most important things is the leaders and the rods, is because you want a nice kind of, a fast action rod where that tip isn't really going to sag when you pull it. You want a nice quick response on it. Mm-hmm. And for most applications, I'm probably throwing an 8.6 rod. And if if I'm getting fish if I know that fish are going to be kind of wary and I'm throwing glides and even, they're still following glides all the way into the boat, and I'm still trying to have to convert them boat side on glides, that's a lot of the times that I'll start throwing a 9.3 to get that really, really wide outside sweep. Or if I want to work them really, really erratically, because the thing with a 9.3 rod is guys think that, you're holding this huge rod, but the thing is, if you think about it, if you got a 7.6 rod, or the 7-foot rod even, you got to snap that thing like crazy to move the tip of it, where if you've got a 9.3 rod, the amount that's required at your wrist to move that tip as much, distance-wise,
it's going to be a lot
as it's going to move a 7-foot rod, is going to be a lot. Exactly, it's going to be a lot less required at the wrist level to actually move that tip. And so, a 9.3 rod is actually going to be, as long as you have it balanced right, it's actually going to be, a lot less fatiguing throughout the day, and actually give you more advantages at the boat. And so, if glides are something that you're struggling with for anyone, lengthening that rod and kind of just getting used to, not working it down, but working it to the side a little bit. Even if you're working a short rod, working it to the side is always more optimal, because if you're working it straight down, you got to bring the rod to the side and up, or bring it straight up, or however you want to set the hook. But if you're working it to the side, you're kind of always in an optimal, just quick twist and set into hook setting position, and you can really, really increase your hooking ratio.
I'm doing it right now while I'm sitting on my chair, and you don't have to sweep across your chest to set
exactly.
if you're going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Exactly.
Huh.
And actually, I'll be posting a couple of videos before too long as well, just kind of some informative stuff on some glide bait techniques and stuff, and kind of showing the differences between throwing a Madman and some other awesome glide baits on the market. Just different, kind of things that'll make.
Wait,
for instance,
there's other awesome glide baits on the market. It's not just Madman. Oh shit!
there's some other decent ones, I guess, but there's like Mad Men versus like some real big ones out there where guys are working Mad Men the same way that they're kind of working, some of the, like a Shum regular, like one of the originals, or like a Slim, which will, I'm going to tell you, if you work a Mad Man the same way you're going to work like a Shum original, like one of the regulars, you're going to think the Mad Man is one of the worst glide baits you've ever touched in your entire life. But if you work it like it's supposed to be worked, you'll think it's one of the best glide baits you've ever worked in your life. And that's just kind of the thing, is each bait is just a tool to be worked differently, but you can't use them the same.
You said that, and I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm not a liar and no filter and all that shit. The first time I threw this bait, I'm like, Greg, why the hell did you make me buy this piece of shit bait? It doesn't glide. It does nothing. Like, what? I'll go buy a Phantom, dude, for $20. Why am I buying this? Well, and then,
see that?
Tom showed me a couple of things, and I'm like, and then I saw you do a couple things. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I got it. Now I just need that freaking leader.
See, that's the thing, too, is that actually makes me really happy, because, first of all, what that tells me is that next time you're in Madison, someone else is running your boat, because you're coming in mine, because you're going to just drool at seeing what the baits are capable of.
I love fishing glide baits. It's glide baits and bucktails.
Me too, man.
Yes. So
you have good taste.
I need to learn how to work these lures, because I've seen them do things, and I just, for whatever reason, I can't get them to do it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and it's one of the baits where the smaller you go with the glide bait, the harder they are to get balanced and the harder they are to get to work. And so people kind of need to understand that you need to be more delicate with smaller baits. And so you're not trying to snap them the same amount that you're snapping a big giant Phantom, but you can give them long sweeping poles, and they'll head shake back and forth like we were saying.
I'm
at the same point,
so excited to go try that out, because that purple one, you're like, one of those is going to do that, and I'm like, God, I hope I got the right one. I want to go back there and feel that. That sounds like awesome.
And that's the crazy thing, is actually we had a big fish up on Monona about a week or two ago, where Aaron and I were out fishing, and there's a fish that we saw cruising the shallows, and it's one of the worst springs that we've had on Monona in years, and we saw it cruising, and I was like, oh, there's a fish, and I threw it in front of its head, and I ripped it, and the bait just went back and forth, and I've never seen a fish dead stop and change 90 degrees and come and just flare its gills, and it just opened its mouth and tried grabbing it, and got the very back hook point in its mouth of one of the trebles and just missed it, and couldn't get a hook in its mouth, and it was, and it's just one of those little kind of nippy early spring fish, and it was cool just to see it react like that. But it's going to be, I'll have to get you in the boat next time you're here, because it's, like I said, it's just a matter of just playing with glide baits before you take them out for a day, and just kind of getting used to exactly what it takes to get them to do what they do, and understanding that some of them are just a little more delicate than others, and some of them take a little bit more smacking to get to do what they need to do, and they're all made differently by different people who are, put a lot of time into their craft, and there's so many talented guys out there.
Man, I'm excited. So just let me know when you guys are free. Come on down there.
Perfect. Well, I'll see you tomorrow morning then.
No, I got my lures to work on tomorrow. Because don't tempt me.
I'm joking.
I told myself I'm not going to go fishing this week.
Yeah, I'm slightly tied up tomorrow too, but.
But with that video you were talking about, we'll talk about that later, about behind the scenes. I'd love to see that, and I mean everyone else would love to see that, of course. So anything else new in the Madman world? We got the Black Ops baits coming out, summerish. You said for the fall, for the diving rise, correct?
There should be. I'm hoping to have the diving rise is going to be kind of still a ways in the future here yet, but the bigger Madman is hopefully going to be not too far off, and then the actual some of the coolest patterns I've ever done and ever I mean, ones that are making me drool, that I just love, are going to be heading to Team Rhino, hopefully, this,
You'll make a big announcement, and Team Rhino probably make an
summerish.
announcement about that, correct?
What's that?
You and
What's
Team
that?
Rhino, you and Team Rhino will probably make an announcement when they get their shipment, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's, my first, before I post any big batch for just kind of myself, the first big batch that's going anywhere is going to be to Jeff, just because he's been so good to me, obviously, but to all of us, and I just, it's just the best way for me to just ensure that everyone that I've been getting messages from is getting a good shot at getting baits equally.
That guy is so damn nice. He bought us lunch.
Jeff is
stocking muskies. I'm like, why'd you buy me lunch, dude? Hi, thank you, man. Like, we went out. Good. Oh, I got you guys. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, thank you. Nice guy.
Jeff's one of those guys that just gives you hope in the world no matter what's going on.
Right. So, before we go, Adam, funniest boat launch story. What do you got?
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, so I'm trying to think. This was quite a while ago now, I guess, but this was back on Okachi. Probably in, like 2006, 2007-ish.
Okay.
It was like before I graduated from high school, but I was, so I was getting ready for a day of fishing with my dad, and there was a guy that this wasn't even with my dad. This was with another buddy of mine. So this guy was backing his trailer in, and he had a rope attached to the dock and to the front of his boat, and he must usually have just like had a good solid knot in whatever he looped around the dock. Because he had his dog sitting in the front of the boat, and he backed the boat into the water, dumped the boat in, and was going to drive up. And usually the boat was, kind of must have backed in and then caught on the rope, and then kind of caught itself and then hung there until he parked the car and came back, and the dog was sitting there. But the rope wasn't actually tied.
Oh, no.
And so the boat just kept going into the middle of the lake, and the dog was still in the boat. And so the guy just backed the boat in, and the boat just kept drifting into the middle of the lake, with the dog just kind of sitting there looking more worried. And so we were all kind of like trying to figure out exactly how this guy was going to handle the situation, and more importantly, what the dog was going to do. And so we assumed someone was going to go out and grab the boat and make sure the dog was okay, but then the dog jumped ship.
No way.
And swam back to the launch, and then walked back up the launch and came up to the dock, and he just had this super happy grin on his face and was just, super excited to be there, and was running around like jumping up on everyone, just happier than ever. And thankfully the guy was a super nice guy, and he was embarrassed as all get out, but
I can only imagine.
so someone went out and got his boat, and the dog hopped right back up, and it was one of the funniest things I can ever remember seeing in a boat launch. Just, obviously the fact that the boat just went out was one thing, but how quickly the dog was like, I think I'm going to go back.
I'm good on this. I'm good. Oh, that's a good one. Well, Adam, thanks. Congratulations on, your newfound, well, not really newfound success, but added success to your business. And,
I appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
We'll be in touch, and post them leaders.
Yes, will do.
So.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep in touch, and I'll talk to you later, Adam.
Sounds good, my friend. Great talking to you.
Same here. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that's Musky Talk Mondays. episode 5, I wanted to... There we go. Give a shout out to Matt, who's commenting earlier. I believe he pronounces his name Streichel. Matt Streichel. So, if you go check him out on YouTube. Pretty cool for the fact of he just got into musky fishing, and so far he's videotaped every single musky adventure he's went on. I don't know. It's kind of neat seeing him grow, I guess, but like learn shit, and it's cool. Plus, he likes to support smaller bait companies, which is awesome. Until next week, I don't know what we're gonna do. That's Northern Openers this weekend, so maybe get some fishing reports from up north, Wisconsin. That'd be nice. That'd be cool. Get me all jealous and everything. So, anything you guys want to see or hear or hop on the show or yada this, yada that, send me a message, whatever, email, muskmagnetLures, Gmail. I don't know. That's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.